Hello everyone, my name is Jessie and welcome to Plot Twists. So today I'm going to be doing my March wrap up. It is going to be relatively short as I only read 4 books last month. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with some book stats. I will include the graph here of my book moods. Moving into like pacing, that was pretty evenly split between slow, medium, and fast. In terms of page count, I actually read 2 books last month that were more than 500 pages, which I think kind of explains why there's only 4 books this month. All of those books were fiction, so still some room for improvement on my nonfiction goals. In terms of genres, everything that I read last month was either romance or fantasy. In terms of format, I read 1 book digitally and 3 books physically, which marks 3 more books off my TBR. My average book rating last month was 4.0, but that is extremely skewed by 1 book I read that I rated 2 stars. And honestly, that's probably being kind to that particular book. It probably should be even lower than that. And then last, I'll include the graph of the page counts that I read last month. As you can see, we had a pretty strong start. And then towards the end of the month, I just kind of fell off track. April is turning out so far to be a better reading month, so that's excellent. At this point, we are going to move into my reviews of the books I read in the month of March. We are going to go from least liked to most liked. So the first book I have to talk about is The Clique by Lisi Harrison. I really only read this book because it was recommended by a friend as a joke book. It's definitely geared at middle grade girls, and honestly I think even for that it is not a great option. I rated this book 2 stars, and I think that's even being kind. It kind of sort of has Gossip Girl vibes, but is even less enjoyable. And I think I'll leave that there. The next book that I have to talk about is The Return by Nicholas Sparks. This centers our main character of Trevor, who has gone through all sorts of trauma in his life. After the passing of his grandfather, he moves back into his grandfather's house for the summer before he starts his, I don't want to say internship, residency program to become a doctor in Maryland. Over the course of the summer, he gets wrapped up in the mystery of basically what happened with his grandfather, why kind of the events that led up to his grandfather's death happened, as well as kind of exploring this with the a local cop who he starts to develop a relationship with. Overall, I would say that this is a pretty standard Nicholas Sparks book. One of the things that I really liked about this copy is the cover is double-sided, so I could flip it over and use this alternate like Christmas theming, which I really liked. The romance aspect in here I think was good. I was more intrigued by the mystery surrounding the grandfather than I was in the relationship, though, and I think that's important to note. Overall, I rated this 4.25 stars. I think if I was just rating the romance, though, it would be closer to a 3.5. But because of the other plot points and the intrigue, definitely 4.25 stars. The next book that I have to talk about is one that's been on my TBR for some time now that I've been really excited to get to, and that is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in the Crescent City series. This follows our main character of Bryce, who in the very beginning of this novel, someone very close to her is murdered, and she gets wrapped up in this mystery when similar murders start happening again. She ends up pairing up with a angel slave character who works for the local police station, and they are working together to try to figure out kind of the mystery that's occurring. Obviously because this is a fantasy romance novel, there definitely is a romance that develops between the two of them, and that's all I'll say about that. Overall, this book kept me on my toes. It's definitely a big one, but it definitely kept me enthralled throughout this entire novel, wanting to read more. I will link in the description down below. I did do a brief TikTok reading vlog in regards to my thoughts if you want to see a little bit more. This story I thought was really well done. It was a little slow in the beginning, but the ending was excellent, and excellent enough that I went out and immediately bought the second book, and I will definitely be reading it. This book has some really fluid plot points that just kind of flow together, and I thought that was really well done. Overall, I ended up rating this 4.75 stars. And I think the only reason that this was not a 5-star read for me is solely because I found the beginning to be a little slow. Other than that, the latter part of this book was excellent, and I can't wait to continue with the series. The last book I have to chat about this month is one of my favorite books that I've read in a while, and that was What Once Was Mine by Liz Braswell. This is part of the Disney Twisted Tales series, the twist being, what if Rapunzel's mother drank a potion from the wrong flower? As I've been reading these books, there kind of have been two paths that have occurred. Either the book deviates from the original plot significantly, in that it uses the story as a jumping off point and then everything else is pretty much original from that point. Or you have very much trying to tie in with a lot of the original plot points, but incorporating some kind of twist to it. I thought this very much was the best of both of those worlds. This story definitely starts with potion from a different flower and definitely has some pretty significant changes from the original, but all of the things that you would have wanted to see in this story are present. Mother Gothel's character, Rapunzel learning about her heritage, Flynn Rider and kind of their journey together, as well as Maximus has a pretty interesting twist in this that I enjoyed, and obviously there's still Pascal. This book does include quite a few other characters though, which gave this some depth. And probably the thing that I enjoyed the most about this is this story also takes place present day with a pair of siblings, and the brother is telling his sister the story with the twists from the book. So it switches perspectives between learning about the story and him, his perspective telling the story, and the two of them together and their interactions at various plot points are about what's going on in their lives. And I thought this was really, really, really well done. I think this is by and far my favorite Disney Twisted Tales book that I've ever read. Definitely topping the charts with the rest of the books I've read so far. I do have one more left to go, and then I will have read them all. But I definitely think if you're looking for a starting point and enjoy Tangled even the teeniest bit, I think this is an excellent choice to pick up. Okay guys, so that is my March wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe and hit the bell icon down below for notifications. I typically post videos every 5 days or so, but definitely at least once a week. And I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!